Cavaliers prove once again they ain't nothing to muck with when it comes to the Eastern Conference. They beat the Toronto Raptors 112 to 106. If you remember the last time they played, Toronto Raptors had a huge lead and the Cavs came back to win without Kevin Love. This time they had Kevin Love. They were able to eke out a win against the Toronto Raptors, number one seed in the East. And watching the entire game, this was a bad loss for the Raptors. And many people will be like, well, it's just a regular season game. But here's the thing. The first game, they were up by 20. They were coming off a back-to-back. People were expecting them to lose the game, etc., etc. They came out, punched the Cavs in the mouth. The Cavs were able to claw their way back into the game and actually win the game. This game, Cavs basically are at full strength of what they have, and they were able to beat you, even though it's a small margin, basically definitively. LeBron James did what he wanted, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Kevin Love played pretty good. Calderon dropped 19 points. For the Raptors, this is a bad loss. You saw what happened last game. You had an excuse of back-to-backs. What's your excuse now? There is none. When you look at the Raptors, it's not a fact that they don't have talent. You have DeRozan, Lowry, Ibaka, Valanciunas. You have a bench. Their problem is just straight up and down confidence. In their minds, they don't feel like they can compete against the Cavs. Even though physically they have what it takes, coaching-wise they have what it takes, mentally they just don't have what it takes. LeBron James has built a campfire in their head. He's living there. He's fanning the flames. He's getting his little logs. He has his tent set up. He's eating his sardines, and he's just tearing them down. Everything they do is like LeBron is one step ahead of them. Why? Because they already allow him to live in their head. It's a straight up confidence issue. Kyle Lowry has 5 points. DeMar DeRozan has 19 points. LeBron's not guarding those guys. But the fact is, what LeBron James does on the court is so spectacular to them, it takes them out of their game. They're so busy worried about what LeBron's going to do, they forget that, hey, I'm a player too. I need to produce better as well. 5 points from your point guard is unacceptable. 19 points in a big game for DeMar DeRozan is unacceptable. I don't even want to talk about the other role players. But those two guys are what we're going to take the Raptors over the top. And they haven't found a way to consistently give you 20-plus points and, make a great impact defensively consistently. They haven't found a way. It's either or with those guys. They can't give you both. Because I don't think they feel like they're true superstars. A lot of people are like, well, older people always talk about the older days and how like the 80s and the 90s and the 70s, like 80s and 90s, had great basketball players, great teams. Today doesn't compare. You know why it doesn't compare? Because there are no teams or players during that era where, even though they were dominant, people felt like they couldn't beat them. If you look at the Eastern Conference, none of the Eastern Conference teams, besides maybe the Celtics, feel like they could beat the Cavs. And that's just unacceptable. If you look at in the Western Conference, besides the Rockets, nobody feels like they could beat the Golden State Warriors. And that's the difference between now and then. Back in the day, even though you had the 96 Bulls winning 72 games and stuff like that, Knicks felt like they could beat them. We can beat these guys. Or Miami, we could beat the Bulls. Pacers, we could take them out. And they tried with everything in their power to do so. That's why that 90s era, the 80s era, even the 80s, Lakers, Celtics, Pistons. Lakers were a dynasty, Celtics were a dynasty. But guess what? Either one of those teams didn't feel like we can't beat you. Even in the West, Supersonics, Dallas, with Aguirre and stuff like that. Look, we can beat you guys, point blank, period. And that's what's missing today. These guys in the Eastern Conference, they don't feel like they could beat LeBron. They don't feel like they could beat the Cavs. They just have no confidence, and it shows in their game. How do you have a 20-point lead last game, blow it? This game, it's a big game. You know what you did last time to punch him in the mouth, and you don't even do it. You're getting burned by Calderon. You have no confidence. It's absolutely unacceptable for Jose Calderon to outscore Kyle Lowry. At the end of the day, it just boils down to a confidence issue with the Raptors, and that's not good. Because no matter how much you practice, if you don't feel like you're good enough to win, then it is what it is. Even if they were to get past the Cavs and get to the finals, they'll probably get swept by whoever they play. Because they were so focused on LeBron and beating LeBron that they forgot that they had other competition. And it's kind of disgusting, man, because it's not, besides Durant, nobody really tries to challenge LeBron. And even though, let's just say you can't challenge him, you're not that good, at least foul him hard. LeBron rarely hits the ground. They had a hard foul. They actually put it on ESPN. One hard foul put on ESPN. Oh, LeBron hits the ground. He should be hitting the ground every time he goes to the rim, period. If you're not talented enough, at least play a physical style of basketball, not to injure, but to impede him, to make it difficult for him. And teams aren't even doing that. And that's the sad part. And that's really the big difference between 80s and 90s and today. Even though Larry Bird didn't feel like he was, physically gifted as Jordan, he wouldn't be like, nah, I can't compete. These guys just feel like they can't compete, and it all boils down to confidence. The Raptors lack a whole lot of it. They're first in the East, and they don't carry themselves like that. Like we all know, to be the champs, you have to beat the champs. And the Eastern Conference champs is the Cavs until somebody knocks them off. That's who's coming out of the East, man. Because these guys just don't have it. It's like Darius DK. You don't have it.